Hi everyone, it is Mickey here from A Pretty Talent in the Waterwell Ministries. I'm leaning over to make sure that the recording has started, and it has, so fantastic. So welcome back. I am going to do, oh dear, I forgot to plug in my phone. Let me quickly do that. Sorry for the shaking there. Today I remembered to switch on the light, but forgot to plug in the phone, so go figure. So today I want to do a coloring lesson, and I am going to say right from the start, this is not one to watch. Ideally, you should do with me. I am not going to do time lapses, I'm not going to do double speed, I'm going to record this in real time. I think there are way too many videos available where you don't actually know what it is that people have done, because it just goes quick, and the picture is colored, and it gives you a completely warped idea as to the process. Now, I do not wish to inspire viewers. I wish to inspire doers. And I love that the word inspire is printed right here on my Bible, because that's what my whole channel is about. It's actually what my whole life is about. To inspire people to do what God has set out for them to do, to become who God has created them to be, and to become involved in their own lives. Now, viewers are not involved. And that's why my videos are not intended to make you a viewer, but rather it's aimed at inspiring you to pick up your coloring pencils or whatever art it is or craft it is that we're doing, and to become involved and do it yourself. So I have my new Bible here, the Inspire Large Print Edition. Let's quickly talk about that. They have what I'm just going to call the normal print, the normal size Bibles. Then they have the large print Bible, which is a sort of in between. And then I have the giant print Bible, which is the one I normally work in when I record the videos. Now, when you consider these two next to each other, let me put this one on top. Right. When you see them next to each other, you can see that one is much larger than the other is. How does the print compare? If I just open anywhere, you can see the print is, well, I don't know. I don't read with glasses, but it might make a difference to you. It depends on your own needs and things. But just so you know, if you're going to go out and you're going to buy a Bible, you have a couple of choices ahead of you. And I'm talking specifically about the Inspire range of Bibles. They're all New Living Translation, NLT, and the latest ones come with a filament edition, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. So I'm going to open my Bible. So this is a page that I have colored and taken still pictures of every step of the way. And I have then blogged this process, talking you through the process in the blog. So if you are interested in following that kind of method rather than a video, please go to A Pretty Talent blog and go look for this this blog. It's going to be one of the latest ones. And, oh well, as I'm recording this, I don't know how far down the line you look at this video. But in any case, yes, go look for this blog. If I remember, and I'm really rotten at remembering stuff like this, then I will link this blog below the video, but in any case. So this is the page I want to tackle today. So it is a rather extensive page. And it's going to take a while to color. And I'll probably be doing this video in sections to keep them shorter because of that reason. Now I need to turn the page, because after having colored this page, which was an arduous task, it took a while, I needed to do something that was a little faster, a little quicker. Now I did not like the coloring page, or the coloring pictures designs actually on this page. So I colored them very quickly, and you can see them coming through the serviettes, but then I decoupaged this with serviette. this process has also been blocked. And then I blocked this as well. This is a combination of die cutting and stamping and decoupaging. So it's a complete mixed media. There's coloring. There's so much going on this page. There's foiling. There are so many techniques and things that I've done on this page that I'm probably going to miss it if I try to lift out all of them. So, again, if you're interested, go check out the blog. This one has been blogged. And that's all I've done in this Bible so far. Now, when I go back to this page now, because I have these textures going on this page, a little bit of texture on this page, but nothing that would be influential to this process. But this page, this could influence the coloring on this page. If I color here, I'm probably going to get those blocks over there. And for that reason, I'm going to put, nope, because then I'll still have that. I'm going to put this page in here. This is an old laminated sheet. You might have seen it before. So I'm putting that in here, and now I've got a smoother surface. Could it still influence it? Probably, but that is what I'm going to risk. Okay, so now let's talk about my coloring pencils. I should have started with this, I think. My coloring pencils come in a 500 slot pencil case. I don't know if you still call these pencil cases, but whatever. Yeah, I suppose it's a pencil suitcase. Anyways, I will try to restrict myself to the use of the Brutfuner pencils. And that is simply because I've got a whole lot of friends who've gone out and bought the Brutfuner pencils, and they follow the videos. And it's going to make it easier for them to color along with me. Now, should the need arise, I will allow myself to go off script, because we all have other sets of coloring pencils as well. But I'm going to try to at least stick largely to the Brutfuner pencils. Yes, and that's it. So, let's get started. I am wondering what to do with this. This is to me, from me. On my friend's birthday, because we were out celebrating her birthday when I bought the Bible for myself. Never mind, don't worry, I did buy her a gift as well, but this one was for me. And what kind of message would I want to put in here? Maybe I just ignore this altogether. I have in the past in my Bibles done something like that, to me, from me. But let's leave it for a moment. We can always come back to this one. What shall we start with? Let's start with a very friendly yellow. And I am using the 049. That's the number on this pencil. 049. And I am going to cover pretty much the whole flower in this. Not quite, but close. I do want to leave a bit of a white spot. See the white spot? I hope you can see it. And so now, this is a very iffy yellow. I like brighter colors. I'll get to the brighter colors still. But for now, I'm going to go with this color. Now this coloring this picture is probably going to span more than one day, because I honestly don't have time to sit and color all day. And this is going to be an all-day task. So I tend to break this up into smaller segments. where I will color a little bit and then leave off to do something else. Carry on with my life, frankly. Come back, color a little bit more. Probably do another task or video or something in between. Does this flower repeat anywhere? And then slowly but surely, step by step, the picture will be completed. I do not see a repeat of that flower. These are not, these are not, these are not. Is it possible that they've got only one single flower? That is very odd. Okay, so if I'm going to be coloring a large page like this, normally I leave my pencils aside, but I will have way too many pencils lying about. So let me show you what I then do. I put them back in their slots, but I have them stick over at the top or at the bottom, so that I will know that those are the pencils that I've used. So that's another little tip. To not lose track of which pencils you've used, but you know, it also doesn't become a mess with pencils running about all over. Now I'm going to go in with a darker shade, and this is the triple, no, not triple, it's a 003, 003. And I am going to do the centers and the absolute edges and all those areas that have got the grey lines, because this is a partially shaded picture that we're working with. So we're allowing ourselves to be guided by that. So these areas that have got the grey lines, but unlike with the previous yellow, I'm not coming in further than those grey lines. So again, I'm going to allow myself to be guided by those grey lines. Right on the edge. Right there. Here in the center. Okay, I'll be fine. And again, I'm sort of thinking ahead. I might, when it comes to flowers that repeat, simply do one and then do the others off camera if I use the same color on those flowers. I don't know. I'm sort of just thinking ahead, what can I do to make this a little less arduous to watch. Well, it is less arduous if you actually pick up your pencils and color with me. I will say that much. Let me finish my coffee. I like to sit down with a cup of coffee when I start. Now, there's already dimension there, but not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. Now, that's probably a bloom of this flower. I wonder if this isn't as well. Because these are roses, that's fine. This one kind of looks not like a rose. I'm trying to interpret the picture here. This is a rose and that's a rose. I think I should do the leaves afterwards and see if that can give me some clarification. Now I want to come in with a, is this going to be way too much? No, I think we can do this. Just on the absolutely darkest areas, I am going to come in with this shade. It's a bit of a risky shade, I will give you that much. I just went over the line there. Okay. So this color should not become a dominant color in the flower. But I like that it is bringing things together a bit. I think this one needed to go up a little bit more. I am changing the pressure on my hand. So when, for instance here, there's more pressure here in the dark area and less pressure here where it starts going into the lighter areas of the flower. No, don't do that. I like this colours and I want to put down more of this colour, but I don't, because that would be sad. Oh, the colour is 006. 006. Now I think, honestly, this little bloom here, that is still part of this flower. I honestly do. I also think this one doesn't look like the same flower. So if that one, I don't know, and this one, but this one looks like it could be that flower. Oh, it's a bit strange. I will tell you that much. Sometimes it's not that easy to make out exactly what's going on in a picture, and especially at the beginning stages. And you know what? We're gonna move on with this. You're not gonna get stuck as a result of it. We're just gonna keep moving. I do like repetition, and I'm dissatisfied with one flower looking like that. So I'm going to make this a bud of that flower. I don't know that it is, but I'm going to make it so. Now that flower will need to repeat as well. And maybe these two buds can be a repeat of that one. They probably aren't, but they will be. They will be in my drawing, in my colouring picture. Because, well, I need them to repeat, don't I? Now I'm going to come in, and I'm doing this in reverse now. This is the 003. Kind of literally the opposite of what I was doing just now. It's going to have a slight effect, different effect on the overall, but not remarkable. This is not the easiest spot to colour in, I've got to say. And I don't really want to. Normally I would swing my Bible about to make it easier to reach certain spots and all sorts of things. And I don't really want to go there, because I think it's going to make it difficult for you all to see what it is that I'm doing. Yeah, okay. Let's go into these dark areas. Okay. And I'm back to the 049. Still looking for spots to leave completely white. Don't forget those. Because they are our reflective spots. They're the spots that will reflect the light. And this one, I'm coming over everything with this one. Kind of using it as a blender tool. Everything except the spots that I'm leaving completely white. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I will, in all probability, at some stage come back to this as the picture develops. I'm going to find that I'm less satisfied with certain tonal values, and I might change those. But for the time being, I am happy enough. I'm being pedantic. I'm not normally this pedantic. So why am I being pedantic about me going over the lines here? Okay. Now, that center there, what do we want to do with that center? I think what we should do is a surprise color. 015. And let's do this center in a surprising purple. And we are going to go slightly into our flower, slightly, not exaggeratedly. But when we do, can you see that the flower now looks deeper? And since we've been excused to use this color, we're going to use it right on the edges there. Oh, I think I should come in a little bit here as well. And I am putting in the depth that had been lacking from this flower. Sorely lacking. I am putting that, getting that in place. Right, and now we like it, because that tends to make all the difference. Now this is honestly too purplish, so I'm bringing it back down with the yellow. Okay. Which one? The 003. Okay. Now I like that. I think I need to develop these leaves first before I continue. This is such an odd color. 094. I'm going to risk it. And I am I'm pretty much covering the whole of the leaf. Slight, very slight white areas being left. Very slight. So you will see that I tend to do the shadows first, and then come back in and fill in the rest. And when I cover the white spaces, it's easy for me to remember to leave some white in. Because there are days where I don't think about it and I just color everything, and oh well. You can always go back with an eraser, but it doesn't ever quite erase completely. But then, if you've been watching my videos, you should know that I'm not that pedantic about that either. I easily go, oh well, so be it. Now this is an odd color, but I like it, and I like it alongside the yellow. I think it looks fabulous. Ooh, this is a dark, dark spot here. Let's bring it out of the darkness into the light. As I'm sitting here, it is Easter weekend and it is Resurrection Sunday. It is a pivotal day on the Christian calendar. And it's the day on which Jesus, after his crucifixion, rose from the dead. And when he rose, he had conquered death. And therefore death holds no sting anymore. When we die, it's gain. When we live, it's gain. And it doesn't matter, because we will go on from living here on earth to living with Christ after this. There's another leaf here. And that's why Paul says, whether I live or die, it is gain to me. I'm becoming more and more convinced that these are, because they stem from the same leaves. Now, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, those may have been petals already. Let me take the green off there. They're probably petals. I am reminded of a song it's an old song, it's nothing new. It goes something like this. Let me just get this petal. Which is which here? I'm uncertain. Oh, let's say all of this is green. Why not? The song goes something like this. If the same Spirit that rose Jesus from the dead dwells in me, dwells in you, if the same Spirit that rose Jesus from the dead dwells in you, dwells in me, it will quicken our mortal bodies. If the Spirit dwells in you, it will quicken our mortal bodies. If the Spirit dwells in you. Yeah. And if you are feeling down and out, like you have no more strength left, like you can't go on, and I want to encourage you. This is a flower, it's not a leaf. Oh goodness. Okay, it will still be a flower, don't worry about it. Well, that's a leaf. But I want to encourage you to take hands with the Holy Spirit, to invite Him into your life. Because honestly, that is my source of energy. That is my source of hope and inspiration. And power. And if it wasn't for the Holy Spirit in me, I think my life would exhaust me. I really do. I think I would find my life overwhelming. This was 094. I don't know if I've said this. I need to make a mental note to tell you what I'm doing. But by the power of God's Holy Spirit, I have strength for each new day. I am now going to use 080. It's a very, very pale yellow. I don't like colors that are this pale in general. And so they tend to be the ones that I don't use because I find them to be too pale. But I think it will work wonderfully with the green, and it does. So it's fantastic. Now this is going to add a bit of what I call sunlight to the leaf. It's making the green happier. And I'm not putting this everywhere. I am adding this. So I'm not doing a full coloring. I don't know if you can see that. I'm coloring kind of liney, if you like, with the yellow. Because, am I going to put it in the shadow area? I will. Because otherwise the shadow is going to be extremely cold and dark and dank. I'm literally just touching spots of the green with the yellow so that it's not so monotone, and yellow is the friendly color. So green is made up of blue and yellow, and yellow is going to add a friendly color. There's a moth flying about my workspace here. And I didn't used to dislike moths. I actually liked them. Right alongside with butterflies, I thought them to be fantastically beautiful and whatever it was. Because you do get fantastically beautiful moths. But I have had a plague of moths. And they have gotten into everything in my house. And they've caused quite a bit of damage. And now, I no longer like it when I see moths about. Okay. I'm going to go back to my original 3 colors for the flowers And regardless of whether these are actually those same flowers or not, they will now have those same colors. This is the one that I find problematic because it's completely different. Oh, this is completely different from all the flowers on the page. Yeah, I'm thinking someone who's this brilliant at design, why didn't they repeat this flower for me somewhere? I don't know. They didn't. So I have to make my peace with it. It is what it is. Okay. Methinks it'll work. I would have loved to have made this flower blue. Oh, I will say that much. It would have looked great in blue next to the yellow. I'm not going to do that now, obviously. If I now try to make this flower blue, it will be green. So it shall be a yellowish flower, like its counterpart next to it. My neighbors from across the road, ever since I moved here, what's this, 5 years ago, 6 years, I don't know. They've not missed a Sunday that I can recall where they did not mow the lawn. And it is Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, and lo and behold, the gardener, because it's not themselves, the gardener was called in, and he is busy mowing the lawn. So not even Easter Sunday gave them any respite. Nothing. This is interesting because I was watching a video. I was a little slow in getting up this morning. Oof, that's a little red. That's a little too red. Bring it back. Okay. What was I saying? I was watching a video this morning. It's one of these short videos on I think it was on Facebook. I was watching it. And so this clip of a pastor, it's not his whole sermon, came up where he, what am I doing? What am I doing? This is not what I'm supposed to be doing, never mind. It's done now. It's not going to be terrible, so we'll leave it at that. Wasn't what I intended to do. I only wanted to do the dark shadows, and then I started coloring anyways. You see, I can't talk and color at the same time, obviously. I lose track of what I'm doing, but I'm I'll be conversational. And if I mess up the picture in the process, so be it. I need to come back with that yellow now. This the palest of the yellows, and just bring this red back a bit. Good grief, that was excessive. Anyway, it'll do. And the purple. The purple. Okay, so anyways, if I've now recovered my picture, let me try again. So I was watching this pastor, and he was talking about, well, how he got roasted by an 80-year-old woman. And I know he thought it was amazing that an 80-year-old woman would have this wisdom and this knowledge, but honestly, that would be the source for it. The wisdom of older people, especially older people who's lived with the Lord. Their experience of walking and talking with God should not be underestimated. I like that. Looks good. Don't like the red here. I'm going to make it purplish. The purple will bring it back into shadowy nuances. Okay, anyways, so this pastor was saying, this woman came up to him and she asked him, why do you never rest? And he says, he said to her, well, the devil never take a day off. And apparently her reply to him was, what's the word she used? Can't recall. Why are you allowing the devil to be your role model? God rested on the seventh day and said he had created it for us to rest on the seventh day. Well, the day of rest has been created for man, not man for the day of rest. And we need to take time out and rest. And me making this video at this pace, not hurried, if I had not been shooting a video, this would be how I would relax. So including you in this is still relaxing to me. I'm looking for a bluish green 047. Ooh, this is another one of those where I go, oh, you're taking a chance. It's not the most obvious color choice, because this is a turquoisey kind of color. But I'm looking for bluish green, and this is just one of the greens that I'm going to use here. And to me this is more blue than green, honestly. I know we all see colors, we interpret these colors that go over from one color to the next differently. Someone's going to say this is solidly green. To me this is more blue than it is green, but it is an in-between, so it's a mute point to argue, honestly. It's a silly argument to have. I like to take risks when coloring, when choosing colors. because those risky colors often, more often than not, they give you the brilliant results that you would not be able to achieve with other colors. I need to keep looking at this side because essentially you've got to use the same colors on this side. I think that's a leaf coming out there. What that is. Is this now a leaf? You see, this is now the area again where I'm finding it hard to distinguish between petals and leaves. Those are going to be petals, methinks. I think that's a leaf. Petals. And let's make this one, well, this is a leaf. And so with this, 047, sorry. With this color, I am doing the shadow areas on the leaves, not the light areas. You'll see I leave those white because the blues are going to be my shadows, my shadow areas. So when I come over this with a green, my shadows will already be bluer, colder, and more believable shadows. And that's why I'm doing this. I've put this here so that I would remember to put it on, and I didn't. This is simply to keep the oils off the page. It's you don't have to. Don't ever let anyone tell you you have to. It's nice, and since I have it, I am trying to remind myself to use it. I don't always remember, obviously, because it's lying right next to me. Still couldn't remember to put it on. I need to watch the time on these videos because time flies when you're having fun, and I don't want them to become too long. My phone and PC has a communication issue with each other when the videos are too long and the memory on the phone is too full, and so I have to be the mediator between the two of them and make sure that I don't cause issues for them by keeping the video shorter. What is going on here? What am I looking at? What is this in the foreground? It's an actual different leaf altogether. Let me color the one that I know. I don't know. It's odd. It's odd. Now what, is that now the, oh my goodness, I don't know. Okay, now you see, these are the difficult spots to color, isn't it? Do you also find that, these transitions over the page? Whew. And often I will actually stick holes in the page here, where they go over from one to the other, because there's essentially a you know, a hollow spot there. And if you're not careful, you can. There's a leaf. I'm going to ignore that leaf float there. Okay, we'll do this one. And that is probably coming out here. That might already be a rose petal. Probably is, actually. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not sure that that is. I don't know. Okay, these ones. That actually should be a different color altogether. But I have started them in this color, so having done so, I need to kind of keep filling them in. Okay. I think those are the leaves surrounding this one. Now I'll off camera go and do these on this side as well. But let me develop these leaves for you and then save you this side. I'm going to do the same thing with the rose leaves on this side. But yeah. Now I need a green. A green, 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 green. With a tad of yellow. A load of yellow. So this is, oh my word. Nobody knows. So my apologies, but that number there is, it never has been. So ever since I bought this set of pencils, this one pencil, they had the number obliterated. And so I don't know. I honestly can't tell you at all. It is a darker yellowish green. And that is the best I can do on this one. And you can see that this is going to tone down that bluish color all together, because I'm going into the white areas with it. I'm trying to work a little quicker now because yeah, I suspect it's time to switch off the video. Can you see the difference? It's no longer a blue leaf, and that's why the blue doesn't scare me. It's risky, but it's not overly risky. But can you also see the nuances in color that's already created for me? Because I'm not using a single color, but I'm using these lovely, lovely nuances of color. I am going to pick up a really dark green, and this one is 073. And everywhere where I come across these odd leaves that are not actually part of the, well, they're not the main rose leaves or whatever they are, I don't know. I'm going to color them with this darker one, so that they do become leaves in their own right, not riding on the backs of the rose leaves. Now, rose petals. Let's quickly talk about rose petals while I'm putting the finishing touches on these leaves. My grandmother, my mom's mom, ooh, she loved her kitchen. My goodness, she could bake and cook, and that was her happy place. She wasn't happier. She couldn't be happy anywhere else. Look, she did a lot of stuff. She was not a. She did sewing. She made dolls. She. Yes, I think I probably take after her, but loads of hobbies. She didn't have all the hobbies, but she loved the kitchen more than anything else, surely. Was that supposed to be this? I don't think I was supposed to come in on this one because it was actually the other flowers, but never mind. Nobody's going to look at it like that. Okay. So those I shouldn't do. This I should do. See what I've told you about talking and coloring? I can't. It's a concentration thing. My two brain cells need to be engaged with the same thing at the same time. Nah, God has blessed me with more than that. So my grandmother, she baked and cooked everything, but she experimented and did all sorts of things. And she, when her roses was in bloom, she would go pick those roses and she would turn those petals into rose petal jam. And that's such a rare thing. It's not an unknown thing. It's not an well, it is an uncommon thing, I suppose, but it's not unheard of. But no, first this one. First the yellowish one. Yes, she would make the rose petal jam, and I honestly only once ever after have I come upon rose petal jam. People don't make this. It's lovely. It's tasty. It's got flavor. It's interesting. But my grandmother loved her roses. It was her favorite flower. And yeah, I suppose rose petal jam was the next logical step for her. What else can I do with my favorite flower? Combine it with my favorite thing, the kitchen. And yeah, she always had lovely roses in her garden as well. I loved her to bits, I'll be honest. I had great grandparents, and I was fortunate enough to have known all of my grandparents, and I know not everyone is. Not everyone is that fortunate. But I was fortunate enough to have known my grandparents, and no, first degree. See, I need to remind myself. And the influence of a grandparent on a child's life, it is different from that of a parent. And so if you're a parent, and your parents, or your spouse's parents, or whatever, if any of the grandparents are still alive and around and available, I want to encourage you to make a point of introducing your kids to their grandparents and taking them to visit. because it makes a difference to a child. It makes a difference to a grandparent as well. But you cannot be that. You can't fill that role for the child. And if the grandparents are not around, then I'm sorry. You can certainly do whatever you're going to try. But you have to be parent. You have to be parent to that child, not grandparent. It's a different role. A different role that you have to play in the child's life. And as I'm sitting here, I have kids in my class who are being raised by grandparents because the parents are no longer around. And I don't need to tell you that those kids are also missing out. If you have the ideal available to you, then that's what you should strive for. I think I'm going to leave these leaves as is. Again, I might come back to them afterwards. Oh my goodness. Look at this leaf that I've skipped altogether. What? How did I not see this? I don't know. It is humongously sitting right here in the middle of the arrangement at the bottom of the page. And I didn't see it. Well, go figure. Okay, anyways. I'm going real quick to just fill this one in. I am now going to stop the video and I'm going to literally do the same thing with the leaves on the opposite page, because these two pages form a unity, and what I do on this side I have to do on that side. That's why I kept looking at the repetition of flowers, so that what I do on this side I can go do on the other side as well. But I won't do that on camera, because it is literally going to be a repetition of the same thing. Have I now got all the leaves? I certainly hope so. Anyways, let me stop this and I will be back. I've also got a visitor, so this is a good time to stop. Hi everyone, I'm back, and I know it kind of seems like I've done a whole lot of coloring and that we're almost at the end of the coloring process, but we're actually a long ways off. And I've brought it up to a point to just kind of save save on the length of the video. So there's a couple of things that I've been doing off camera, and I finished off the rose leaves. So what I did was I came in with a 055, a bluish pencil, very blue pencil, maybe a slightly green. I don't know where to. That's the color that I'm working with. Can you see that? I don't know. I don't have anything better to scratch on here. And I literally only did the absolute darkest shadow areas of the leaves with this pencil. It's not coloring the leaves at all. It's not even doing all of the shadow areas. It's literally only the absolutely darkest shadow areas of the leaves that were covered or colored with this one. And I only left these three at the top here to be able to show you what I've done with this. The rest I did off camera. Okay, then I went back to the 080 yellow and I added light to these leaves. Sunshine. I captured sunshine. And this is it's pretty much all over the leaf. But I'm not trying to get a full coverage because full coverage is overrated. It makes for a very mundane, monotone kind of coloring. Then I took my pencil eraser and I just kind of put a sunspot back on the leaves. Yeah, I think that's it. Just an area that I made lighter with the eraser pencil. Now, then I color blocked the flowers, which meant that I just put an initial layer of color down on all of the flowers to kind of give myself a layout, a design on what colors I wanted to use. So this is the 011. It's a very pale pink. And I blocked in 4 of the roses. Well, this is the 4th one with this color. And when I say I'm blocking it in, I am doing what someone else is going to be calling coloring. I'm coloring the rose. I am covering every single aspect of this rose with this color. But when others call it done, I call it an initial layer. I'm not done. I've only just started. So that's pretty much the difference between childhood coloring and adult coloring, I guess. I don't know. Because I'm teaching children to color like this as well, and they're really good at it. I've got a little girl in the Bible study group. She and her mom attends together, and she's very artistic. And she once came, her mom actually came to work in my garden to remove a plant, a creeper that it's kind of taken over. And she's a gardener and I'm rotten at it. So she did me a favor and came to remove the plant. And this little girl came along, and I don't even think she was in school just yet. I'm now going to go over to the 017, which is a pinkish purple. And I've blocked in 1, 2, 3. This is the 3rd one of the roses in this one. Anyways, her mom and her brother was busy in the garden, and in the meantime I entertained this little girl, and I taught her to color using 3 colors, at least 3 colors in a block. I think I restricted it to 3 colors. And as I said, she wasn't even in school yet. She was, I think she was 5 or 6 years old. I can't remember. At the time. And that was her first actual coloring lesson that she received, was not to use only 1 color, but to use 3 colors. So if you're coloring a leaf, use 3 colors. If you're coloring a word, use 3 colors. If you're coloring a petal, use 3 colors. It's a 3-color rule. There's more to coloring than using 3 colors, but that's one of the easiest ways to teach someone how to color, taking it away from just a monotone coloring, as we've all been taught to color. Anyways, yes, so my point was that even children, I think especially children, need to learn to color properly, like this. Then they will love what they're doing, and if they love what they're doing, they will continue to do it into adulthood, instead of giving up, as so many people do, believing themselves not to be creative, not to be able to do things, because what they did does not look like what other people do, and they think the problem is with them, when honestly the problem lies in 2 places. Either the person who taught you didn't know what they were doing, or you were given mediocre to substandard materials to work with, as we often give children, and I would never be able to achieve the results I would want to achieve with those materials. And then I give it to a child and I think they've got to be satisfied with it, knowing full well that I have pretty much set them up to fail with the tools and the materials I've given them. So why do we do that? Why? Why do we do that? Spend a little bit more money. Get them the proper materials. And don't teach them to feel like failures when it comes to art and crafts. Now, if you're following my videos, you will know that I'm also creating crafts with rubbish. That's a different skill level. It's a different way of thinking and doing. Okay, that was 017. I don't know if I've said that. I think I did, but if not. Okay, now, this is 004. And I have got one and now a second flower that I'm color blocking with this color. That was a quickie. A quick one, I should say. This is 086. It's a bluish purple. I've got one and this one, so two of these. Now, there's no rule here. When I'm counting them, it's really just to show you how many I have got and that there's a repetition, rather than saying that you've got to do 4, 3, 2, 2 or something like that. Don't read that into this counting thing. That would be wrong. What I'm looking at is balance. Are the colors juxtapositioning each other? Are they balanced on the page? Are all my oranges and yellows at the top? Then it's wrong. They need to sort of be spread out. And repeat across both pages, not just one page. That's the point of this. That's how you decide it. This is what I call boring coloring, because it's literally just filling space. And you will see I'm going quickly. I'm not paying much attention to anything. I am coloring a block at a time. I am not going, I don't want to do this. Let me do it with the back of the pencil. I'm not coloring across like this. I'm filling this petal. And then I'm moving on and filling the next petal, because it will show if you don't do that. You need to color a petal at a time. If you want to go too fast and just color right across the flower, your end results are not going to be fantastic. That initial layer and the fact that you laid it down incorrectly, and I don't often use that word, it will affect the outcome. You should be able to mask it to a certain extent, but not fully. Not fully. So refrain from doing that. Stop yourself. When you want to get over hasty, go have a cup of coffee, take a rest, do whatever you need to do. Come back when you've got the energy to do this properly again. But don't mess it up because you're feeling over hasty. The end is in sight, and then it's going to be fun again. But this is not. It's nice to see the colors filling, but I've obviously been at this now for a while. And this is not where things come together. This is these initial stages. We have to overcome them. I think it's because these initial stages are a little tedious and they take their time and they don't deliver much in terms of end results. I mean, and we think once we've sort of reached this point, we go, okay, let me just color the birds and then I'm done with this. That would be a mistake. I mean, look at this flower that we've developed versus this flower that we've not developed. It'd be a mistake to stop now. We can do that. And that's what we want to do. Right, so we are now going to go to a mid-tone. And let me continue working on this bluish purple. I'm a little bit on two minds about two pencils here. How deep do I want my mid-tone to go? Maybe I should leave the purple for last. Not yet go to that one. Let me do the reddish purple rather. That one's a little bit easier to do. A little bit, not completely. I want to do my mid-tone in this one. Yeah. Okay, so my mid-tone is going to be all these shaded areas. And I'm allowing the shading on the original picture to once again dictate where I need to put this color. This is nice. You see immediately my whole attitude towards this changes because now I like what I'm doing. I like what I see developing. And suddenly it becomes something other than just childish coloring. Childish coloring, oh goodness. It's such a derogatory way of talking about it. Normal coloring. It's something other than just normal coloring. I love this. I won't develop both of the purples or all three of the purples with this one. I'll do one and then I'll do the others off camera, but I do want you to see what it is that I'm doing and how it affects the outcome of these flowers when you do that. And you will see that I'm being a little bit, I guess, painterly with this. I'm rather using hatching techniques than circular motions. So lines. I'm using the lines of the actual picture and I'm following those lines. And so I'm coloring in the direction of the lines, following the lines, using the lines in my own coloring, whereas if I'm just filling, I normally just do circular motions. So that's something else to pay attention to here. Now, these are not our deepest shadows. We're still going to come in with those, but we are using these in the deepest shadows as well, because we are building up layer by layer. I wonder if I should continue and not, let me do at least one flower, right? And if we need to break this video up into 2 videos, we will. And I'll link them to each other so that you can follow them. We'll probably have to, because coloring takes ages. If you want a color like this, and who doesn't, then it takes time. It takes time to develop. It's this fold. Oh, it's problematic. It's problematic. Whatever I do here just accentuates the fold even more, but oh, we have it to deal with, so we've got to deal with it. Do you see how this color takes these two? This one is the same as this one. And it just takes it away from, it's the same as this one as well. And it turns it into something else altogether. It's lovely, isn't it? It's a lovely color. I have to say, I like this color. It's a bit liney, it's a bit unfinished. It's only the second layer. Now, this morning it was freezing cold, literally freezing cold. You could feel that iciness in the air, and we've got a turn of seasons going. It's turning winter. It's autumn. It's turning winter. But it was still warm autumn days. And this morning was the first time I felt it was a cold autumn day. I'm not one of the first people to feel cold. I'm probably one of the last people to feel cold normally, but this morning it was cold. And now it's hot. It's hot. It really is turned hot. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave this one be. I'm not going to develop the others of this one yet. I want to go to the pink. And I'm going to do a mid-tone pink. I don't want my pink to be quite as dark. I think my pinks are going to be the faintest of the flowers. Do I like this color? I don't particularly. This is not blue enough. This one. Yeah, I like this one better. It's got a bluer shade. 061. 061. The other one was a little bit too warm. I didn't like that one here. And so now we're just doing the same thing in the pink. Not a lot of shading here. It's probably going to turn out darker than I initially thought, but that's fine too. You know what I didn't do is I didn't get myself a red flower here, which is odd because I love red. I was going to do red, red roses. It's kind of like an obvious one, but my red pencil was missing. Turns out it was just a friend, so she found it and brought it back to me now. But I think I'd already in my mind stepped away from the red, and that's a pity, because red roses are, well, the red is synonymous with roses. this is nice. But I'm not one for iffy colors, and I'm doing something a little iffy here. I don't like faint colors. I like bright, intense colors. But a variation in intensity makes for a more interesting picture than when everything is just bright. So I am trying to force myself to be a little bit less, more accommodating of fainter colors. That's what I'm going to do with the pink. Which have I got left now? I've got the orange left, and I've got the blue purple left. Let's go to the orange. I can go quite red with the orange. I can actually go quite red with the orange. Let me go to this color first. 007. What's with the 00s? Every time I pick up a pencil, it seems to say 00. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like this color. Mm-hmm. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. You can see where I'm going to go with that. Then I am going to, for that one, I think I'm going to go to this one. This is 015. I just want to sharpen the pencil point a little bit. Not too much. But a little bit. Okay, so. Yep. I like that. So a little bit more pressure in the dark areas, and then lesser pressure in these fainter areas. That's kind of the rule I'm going with. Reminding ourselves that we are still going to do a dark shade. This is not the end of it all. Like here's less pressure, and here's a little bit more pressure, so it's a little bit darker. So we do differentiation with pressure as well. And when I say more pressure, I'm not pressing hard. You don't have to press hard if you have good pencils, because good pencils are happy and willing to put their color down on the paper. If you have poor pencils, it's hard to get pigment out of them. And that's when you tend to break the points, because you're pressing so hard to just get pigment out of your pencils. But a good pencil, you can just touch the page and the pigment is happy to go and make friends with the paper. Just stay there, linger. It's nice. It's nice. It's coming together nicely. I don't often take time out to just sit and color. Life can be a rush. But I figured in a 4-day weekend, if you can't spend at least one day coloring, you're doing life wrong. Don't you love how this is starting to pull together? One can easily make a mistake of thinking this is good enough. This is good. It's not good enough yet. We're going to keep working it. Okay, so that's our bluish purple. And I'm obviously going to do the same thing with all of the flowers, but I think I should, before I stop this video and continue with the rest of the flowers, I should actually keep developing this a little bit. So let's return to the pink one that I am not too thrilled with yet. Yo, am I going too intense with this one? I think so. 077. I'm going to use 077. Just sharpening it here on the side. Yo, this is not going to give me Nah, it's the wrong color. It's the wrong color. .087, which is reddish purple, will give me the shadow that I'm looking for. And now all my darkest dark areas are going to get this color put inside them. Now, I know there will be more depth here. So I'm going to start going off script a little bit to just develop areas that I know should have more shadow areas, be more in the shadow, or have deeper shadows. If I want this to look full round and not flat. Okay. Yeah. You see, you need to develop those shadowy areas. Know what's happening. Maybe that was a leaf. I don't know what was happening there. It's quite possible that it was a leaf. Okay. That's good. I'm going to put my pinks together here on the side that I've got to use. Am I completely happy yet? I'm actually not. So I'm going to 070. I'm going to use this one as a blender. Now I like it. Now I like it. Okay. Yes. So now I'm back to circular movements, you can see. I'm on something there that's affecting the coloring. Right, and now I think this flower is looking good. Almost, yeah. So I've got the 001, the black, and I'm going to put the absolute darks, the hearts in with black. This will create the illusion of depth. And full roundedness that we have not yet been able to achieve with this one. Right, and that's the difference. Now I haven't done black on these yet, and I should, because they will also pop when I do. I thought I was going to leave black till very last, but I like to develop as I go along, and kind of helps if you can see the effect that black would have on the drawing. So that's the idea. That one, kind of put the black wrong. I kind of put the black wrong. That's what I was saying with a pencil in my mouth. Okay. So let me develop these quickly while I'm at it, using the black. And phew, it's amazing. It's absolutely a stunning result when you start adding your deep shadows. Okay, this one. I'll leave the leaves. I'll do the black on the leaves later. But yes. So that's your pink flower. Now what are we going to do with the next one? Quite sure I grabbed a color somewhere, but I don't know. Okay. Let's go to this reddish purple one. And I want to do that one in 088. very similar to what the other one was. We'll say that. There it is. That's the pencil I'm looking for. You just kind of, okay, separate them here. Right, so the reddish purple one, this is not going to be good enough. I need a deeper color than that. Yep, it's going to be colder in the shade, so we're going to go with a blue purple in the shadow areas. And even though our flower has a warm undertone, your deep shadow areas are cooler colors. And that's why I quickly discarded that warm one, because it would not give me the depth that I'm looking for in the shaded areas, shadow areas. Okay. This problematic area on the flower, we're approaching again. I feel as I'm working a little all over instead of methodically from one end to the next. There's no reason why you can't work all over, but I tend to be more methodical. I find it funny when I then start working all over like that. I feel a little lost, as if I'm without direction. I guess that's the mathematician, computer teacher in me coming to the foreground, just going, don't be so random. Oh, the areas I don't like to work on because I don't like the lack of support on the page here. Just look at my poor paper. Oi, can't they? Yeah, I guess they can't. It's the way books are bound, so isn't too much you can do about it. I need more depth in certain places. Okay, so once you've got your depth in place, why does it look iffy to me? Maybe everything looks iffy to me today. What do I want to blend with? Let me blend with this one, 084. Yes, that's a nice blending color. I really like this. Oh goodness, I went over the line here.
in an ugly way. Sometimes I don't mind, but that was a little ridiculously over the line. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's absolutely fabulous. If you compare, well, let's finish it first and then compare. I think I'm going to have to stop the video before I continue. It's probably getting too long again. Oh, dear. I think, sure, feels like a point is coming out, but it's not. It does feel loose. I don't know. It is loose. I knew it. I could feel it. Okay. Okay, whatever. What? Something odd about this point. Okay. Right, now, here's what I was going to say. If you compare this to this, that's the same flower. This is the color blocking for this one. It's two different worlds. Now, if we now come in with our dark black, we put our deep shadows in place. Deep shadows. Get those in place. Then we're going to get a well-rounded flower with a lot of depth and interest. And that's how you develop that interest in a flower. I'm not going to overwork this area because I think it's on its last legs. A little bit more work there and I'm pushing my pencil right through the page. Okay, I think that'll do it. Don't you love it? Stunning, isn't it? Before I do this, let me do this. I am still going to come in and just add a bit of light in the necessary places. Just take color away a little bit. Not altogether, but just lighten some areas. Because as important as it is to add your shadows, it is equally important to develop your light areas. And if you want this to look completely interesting and real, putting the light back where the light needs to be is as important as adding the shadow where the shadow needs to be. And that'll be something like this. That's just what I've colored over the line. Okay. And that's more or less what we're going for. A little bit of shadow, a little bit of light. I need to continue developing the orange and the bluish purple one. But I think I need to stop this and just go download again, and then I'll be back to do the rest of the flowers. Okay, hi, I am back, and as you can see I have developed the picture a little bit further without completely developing it. I have opted to add the black to the leaves that I hadn't done before, the deep shadow areas, and so I'm just doing the last couple of touches on video so that you can see what it is that I have done. And it's literally just touching the absolute deep shadow areas with a bit of black. That one's already done. Okay, so that's that. I have come into the, let's do the blue, purplish blue purple one. Okay, so I've used the 093 pencil to develop the deep shadows on these bluish purple roses. And you can see how that immediately adds quite a bit of dimension to the roses. Okay, deep shadow areas, all the deep shadow areas. Right, oh, that's a ugly line that I ended up there with there. Okay, now I then came in with the 105, and this is the one that I used as a blender to just bring everything together again. All the lininess, painterliness, graininess of this just quickly brought together with a blending pencil. Now there's a myriad of ways in which you can blend, but when you're doing layer on layer with coloring pencils, using a coloring pencil to blend with is it's not a bad idea. It's one of my favorite ideas when using coloring pencils, to blend with another coloring pencil. Now, you have paper stamps. I've got a frog in my throat now. You've got paper stamps, you've got tissues, you've got white pencils. You have dissolvent mediums that would dissolve your pencils that you could blend with. These are oily pencils, oil-based pencils, and so your dissolvents would be something like a glycerine, linseed oil, petroleum jelly. Those are a couple of the options that you've got that you could blend this with. In my opinion, unnecessary. Because you can achieve a really nice blend with just bringing in another coloring pencil. Which doesn't mean I don't use those from time to time. Petroleum jelly is called Vaseline, of course. I'm not trying to be fancy. It's just the name it goes by. Okay, So that one, if you compare that one with this one, you can see it doesn't look the same. And the reason is I did come in afterwards with the dark black, dark shadows. And when you put the dark shadows in, it pops. It literally pops. You don't have to. There are times when I don't feel like working this deep. And I just don't. There's nothing prescriptive about any of this. Where else do I want to do this? I think I need here in the center. But a very light touch of black. We don't want to kill it. Okay. I think I should leave it at that. Not go too far with this. Okay. And then adding light. And I'm not overthinking this. I'm just putting light on the very top edges where the petals would probably catch the light. And leaving it at that. Okay, and then I just kind of went off script with the orange and brought it into a deeper orange, almost red. So this is a 118 and it's a pinkish, well, it's actually a deep pink. Someone would look at this and call it red, but I think it's a deep pink. I don't know. Pink is really red with white added, isn't it? And then I came in with a 008, which is a red. And I blended everything with a red pencil. It's an orangey red, I will say that. And I completely changed the color of this rose. I felt it needed this color. I felt the page needed this color because we've got yellow going there. And if we make this one slightly redder, then, I don't know, I think the page looks better for it. I don't, maybe it's just me changing my mind. I don't know. But that is in any case what I've done. Let me just put these on the side. And then came in with the black, of course. In the necessary spots. Trying not to overdo it. And a bit of white. Ooh, not white. Eraser. To return the light to the light areas. Well, that actually shouldn't have been covered. Okay. And that's that for the flowers. That's all I'm going to do with the flowers. So that's a complete development of the flowers. We need to develop the birds. Then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the backdrop. And in the meantime, I need to make up my mind as to what is going to happen in this area. But I'll do that in the next video, I think. Well, I'll see how the time goes and maybe I'll put all of them together, but we'll see. Okay, cheers guys.